This next story proves something that progressives have been saying for the longest time. In Arkansas, a Ku Klux Klan group put up a billboard for White Pride Radio. And it shows a little white girl holding a puppy. Because, oh, you white girl, so cute, little white girl holding a puppy. Oh, I guess all white people are good and all black people are bad. And it's alongside the words, quote, "It's not racist to love your people." Right. Now, the town this is in is called Harrison, and it has a history of really deep-rooted racism. There were race riots there that chased out all but one black person a century ago. So it's, again, very deep-rooted in that particular culture at that particular place. According to the 2010 census, the entire county had just 131 black residents and 35,624 whites. Another sign was set up beneath the other sign that it advertises a WordPress blog, and that blog promotes Harrison as a town with 98% white residents and, quote, "no bad neighbors." So here's my favorite part of the story, and this is the part that totally proves progressives right. A KKK director was asked by the media about this billboard because they were in part responsible for putting it up. And his response was that's not racist. Okay. It's for White Pride Radio. The Ku Klux Klan put it up. There's a picture of a white girl holding a puppy to make everybody go, "Oh, you're a cute little white girl." Blacks are terrible. "Oh, cute little white girl." And they talk about how loving your race ain't racist. I don't know what, if that's not racist, what is? Like, do they have to spell out the N-word on the billboard? Does it have to say lynch the N-word in order to make it racist? No, it's so amazing the standards that people have set up. The far-right conservatives and the racists and the KKK members. We're having a conversation about whether or not a KKK billboard is racist. Isn't it racist by definition? No, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. They all see what they've done now. This is their new trick. And again, this is why progressives are right, because we said this from day one. Their trick is just move the goalpost now. So their burden of proof for racism is so insanely out of whack with what's actually racist that they don't have trustworthy opinions on this, you know? I mean, to them, it needs to be Bull Connor, racist Mississippi or Alabama sheriffs, screaming the N-word and turning fire hoses on black people for it to be racist. And then when you say that's racist, they'll move the goalposts again and they'll say, well, you know, it was the black people who started with, like, rioting and stuff, so Bull Connor was just responding to that, so it's not really racist. So nothing's racist. And look, let's address a core issue here, because this is something we hear all the time from people who, in my opinion, have warped thinking, where they say, you know, why can't you talk about white pride if somebody could talk about black pride? Because whites are the overwhelming majority in America, and we are the dominant culture, and we have been the oppressors, not the oppressees, throughout history in America. So historically, when you have the people who already have power and already have control march down the middle of the street and talk about pride for their people as if they don't have power and they don't have control, that leads to terrible, terrible things. There's another place where that happened. I can't remember exactly where it was. I believe it was in Germany when they spoke about how they have German pride and they don't like the Jews. Now, you might say, Kyle, that's not a fair analogy, and you're wrong if you say that, because it absolutely is a fair analogy. I mean, it's a historical truism that wherever you are, if the already dominant culture who already has the power over the society by and large, if they stand up and they start marching for their own pride, run and hide. Hide the kids, shut the door, lock it, because that's a problem. It's like if they did it's fine if you do, here's a good example, it's fine if you do a, Turkish parade, Turkish Pride Day in America, because there aren't that many Turkish people here. But if you do a Turkish Pride Day and you do it in Turkey, in an area where it's mostly Armenians, what does that tell you? it's rubbing the salt in the wound of the Armenian genocide. But run and hide if that's the case. There's a difference between a dominant group that already has power having pride for their own and protecting their own versus somebody who's mostly an oppressed group. And also, by the way, it's fine to do something like Irish pride, right? Italian pride, right? You just can't do the dominant white pride, because white pride historically is tied to the KKK, is tied to neo-Nazism, is tied to fascist movements. And you might say, well, that's not me when I say it. Well, then you're just disregarding the history and you're being purposefully naive and ignorant as to the reality of it, and you're not fixing the situation by proclaiming that and acting as if it's not racist, because it is racist.